Half-Life developers definitely know how to create an interesting story. Some fans are committing to a healthy lifestyle just to survive until the next game, so it's not surprising that Half-Life Alyx maintains high quality of the storytelling. But this time the story can be experienced in more engaging ways with the help of virtual reality. In this video, without spoilers, I will tell you about the plot, game world design, progression, combat, and things in the toilet that you shouldn't pick up, because they can be sticky. The story plays a huge role during the gameplay. You basically go through an adventure. From beginning to the end, game developers will guide you through a series of exciting events. In the first minutes of the game, you will be introduced to the setup of the plot. You play as Alyx Vance.
Alyx Vance.
Hey Alyx, I'm Larry. Nice to meet you. Try not to get killed.
Alyx, just like the title of the game. What a coincidence. The Earth is controlled by a Combine, a massive empire spanning countless parallel universes and dimensions. Alyx works with the resistance that fights the Combine. She does reconnaissance to learn more about the Combine, but then an alarm sounds, the city goes on lockdown, and she gets arrested. Her task is to free the planet from Combine forces, which is not easy to do while in prison. There will be other characters helping you on your way, though most of the time Alyx will stay in touch with them over the radio. Furthermore, the Resistance member will be watching your every step on his screen.
I'm with you every step of the way.
Which is quite creepy, to be honest. But on the other hand, this way game developers got rid of immersion-breaking quest logs, since all the information player needs can be told in an immersive way. Or maybe being creepy was the main reason, I don't know.
Oh, do you need a minute? Cause, I could pause the feed.
After all, jumping and moving through windows is totally unimmersive, and developers had no problems with that. I'm not a fan of horror games, especially in VR for some reason, but the way developers added zombie survival elements into the game deserve praise. There are moments when you have to walk in the dark with just a flashlight as a light source, and you can hear zombies right around the corner. Though these moments are relatively short, and a few minutes later you end up in a completely peaceful environment. It perfectly balances two extremes: becoming tired of all the tension and getting used to it. And of course I must mention Jeff. This is the top level of level design, pun intended. I promised you no spoilers, but to give you a basic idea, I would describe Jeff as a close presence of someone dangerous that cannot be defeated by usual means, so that requires you to learn to coexist with this threat. The game world is designed in a linear way, very linear. You begin at the first location, go to the end of it, and after a loading screen, the second location is loaded. Rinse and repeat until you win the internet. This gives you one path to follow with no opportunity to get lost, though I found a way to get lost a couple of times anyway. The advantage of such world is that every location is built from scratch and all items are hand-placed, so the locations can be as different as they can be. Apartments, caves, underground, jungle and urban areas with giant structures in the distance. And each level has its own problem to solve. For example, power up the device or find a missing part to enable a piano or whatever that is, and that unlocks the way forward. Thanks to carefully designed levels, each of them feels different. Visuals look good even on this video, despite it shaking so badly that it looks like I'm having a seizure all the time. So just imagine how great it is in VR. The game doesn't have an in-depth progression system. The only way to make your character somewhat stronger is collecting resin. Resin is a resource that allows you to upgrade your weapons.
Ah, would you look at that? Resin.
Such as adding reflex sight, bigger magazine capacity, laser pointer, or even an ability to launch grenades. It doesn't make you noticeably more powerful, but at least it makes it easier to aim, or you can reload less often. Combat is not the strong side of this game, especially if you are expecting an action-packed shooter. There will be enemies everywhere, but the game will reveal them to you in little bits. You will be fighting small groups most of the time. I don't recall being attacked by more than 4 enemies at once. To fight those enemies, the game gives you 3 types of guns. All of them are one-handed, since they have only one handle, so they feel quite similar when handling. SMG pistol, shotgun pistol, and pistol.
Alyx, up here! You're gonna need a gun! Don't worry, it's unloaded. It's unloaded now!
To be honest, after a while it becomes more interesting to reload and watch various mechanisms in action than actually shooting a gun. Maybe with an exception of grenade launcher, because explosions never get boring. Despite the game being linear, in combat you can improvise to some extent. There are explosive barrels, grenades growing on tentacles, or traps like barnacles that can be found on almost all levels and can be used to your advantage as well. To heal the damage received in combat, you will either have to activate a hand healing device or inject the syringes right into your nothing. Actually, it makes sense that the healing device is healing only your hands. It's not like you have other body parts in this game that can be damaged. When out of combat, you will be solving various puzzles, manipulating the wires in the wall, blinding yourself with laser, connecting different points of the ball, another type of connecting different points on the ball, or guiding a ball through circles and so on. Which I know sounds super boring, but in virtual reality it's surprisingly engaging. And I must mention the gravity gloves. This type of picking up distant objects feels so natural that it quickly becomes a habit. Even objects that are literally within reach of your hand become more comfortable to pick up using the gravity gloves. In the future, when all VR games will have similar mechanics, I will point everyone to this video to prove that I can predict the future. And now I am going to demonstrate that I know in advance what will be said in this video. The following words are going to be: the story is the main feature of this game. Things will start happening from the start and the plot will keep you engaged all the time, especially as you get closer to finding the answers and the scale of events increase. Story 9 out of 10. The gameplay, for the most part, could be described as combat, puzzles, and collecting things with gravity gloves. Together, they create an enjoyable experience, even if each of these things separately don't look so exciting on their own. Throughout the game, you will definitely stop to enjoy the view of giant structures in the horizon. Scale perception in VR makes them way more exciting. But it doesn't mean that the gameplay is boring, it means that the visuals are so good that they divert your attention from your tasks to the world surrounding you. Gameplay? 7 out of 10. After finishing the game for the first time, I played it again after a while. It is a well-made game after all, though at the same time, when the main feature of the game is the storyline and everything is built around it, it's not surprising that the game is not so exciting once you know all the events. Replayability 2 out of 10. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, say no to alcohol and don't do drugs.